If your day, like mine, needs to start with some caffeine, but you're on the road, you know that's not always easy, but that's where a portable espresso machine can help. This is the OutIn Nano, with a built-in heating element, a battery for portability, and the option of using ground coffee or Nespresso Pods and making single shots or doubles, plus using cold water or hot. This seems like the ultimate coffee lover's dream for espresso on the go.
But is it? I'm Erin from Tech Gadgets International, and this definitely checks a lot of boxes, but it does have a few flaws you'll want to be aware of. In this review, I spent several weeks using the OutIn Nano, both at home, in the camper van, and while traveling. I'll show you how it works, whether you choose pre-measured coffee pods or you want to use your own ground coffee, and I'll take a look at the pros and the cons and let you know if I think I can recommend this device for you.
It's a pretty cool and attractive package, and OutIn does a nice job of making the packaging feel luxe. Let's take a look at the parts. You do get the OutIn Nano, which has your power and your battery, along with a few extra parts. There's the plastic espresso cup, which fits over the bottom of the machine, a two-piece portafilter that's used for ground coffee, and a separate two-piece portafilter for using Nespresso Pods that has little metal claws inside. There's also a coffee scoop, which doubles as a tamper, and a USB-C power cord. I had the idea that all of the pieces would fit conveniently back together into the body of the espresso machine in some way, but after experimenting with that in a couple of configurations, it doesn't quite fit back together.
That was a disappointment that makes it a lot less convenient to travel with.
The way I found it fits best together is to put the coffee scoop inside the cup of the ground coffee portafilter and set that into the water tank up top, then put the lid on. Put the top part of the ground coffee portafilter into the bottom of the espresso cup, and then attach the Nespresso capsule portafilter onto the machine. It mostly fits together. The lid on top doesn't seem to fully close, and sometimes the cup doesn't fit right. OutIn says this is actually not meant to fit all together at all, which I think is a bit of a missed design opportunity. To use the machine, you want to make sure it's fully charged. Now, depending on whether you're using a coffee pod or ground coffee, you'll choose the portafilter you need. I'm going to run both of these for you in just a second. You can use this machine with cold water and the machine can heat it, or you can pour in boiling water for extraction instead. Now, depending on which type of water you use, this is going to change how you program the machine. If you want the machine to heat your water for you, you'll turn it on with a quick press, then push and hold the button for 2 seconds to heat and extract your shot. If you want to skip the heating process, turn the machine on with that quick tap, then quickly double tap the button again. Pressing the power button at any time will stop the extraction process. The machine is going to use exactly as much water as you place in the tank, and there's measurements inside the little cup there, and the OutIn Nano is going to drain everything that's in that little cup each time. Let's start with how to use ground espresso beans. You'll fill the ground coffee portafilter basket with finely ground espresso beans and then tamp them lightly using the scoop. Attach the portafilter's lid and then use the bottom cup from the other portafilter to screw the assembly tightly to the bottom of the machine. Then sit the machine into the espresso cup. Push the button quickly to turn the machine on and then hold it for 2 seconds to begin the heating and extraction process. While the company says the machine should heat up in about 2 to 3 minutes, I found this was in fact a lot closer to 4 or 5 minutes, particularly if you were making a double shot.
It does feel agonizingly long, yes, but given the parameters of this machine and the fact it's relying fully on a battery, it's probably not surprising. And it may go without saying that you can always boil your water separately first and then run the shot using boiled water, although of course you still have to wait for that initial boil too.
When the machine is fully heated, it will begin extracting the espresso shot on its own. The machine runs really quietly, so it's easy to miss this if you've turned your back and gone on to something else while you're waiting for the heating process. With the shot ready, it's time to drink. I found the espresso was pretty good, if a little bit on the watery side. The machine seems to struggle to generate a lot of pressure, so the shots aren't as thick and creamy as they maybe could be. You may be wondering how hot the espresso shots are after they're extracted. I measured the water temperature immediately after brewing at about 150 Fahrenheit, which is 65 Celsius, which for me was a nice and hot but drinkable temperature.
Of course, if you are looking for a hotter shot, you could just use your own boiling water or otherwise heat your own water to your preferred temperature.
When it comes to using an espresso or Nespresso pod, this is really easy. Just push the pod narrow side in into the Nespresso adapter and then drop that into the portafilter cup. When using pods, you'll want to make sure the portafilter is screwed in tightly in order to generate enough pressure to do a proper extraction with crema. The first time I tried this, I don't think I tightened the portafilter enough and my espresso was kind of watery. The next time I was able to get a much better result. The company says that when the machine is required to heat the water, you should get about 3 to 5 shots of espresso on a single charge. Now, if you use already heated water, you can get dozens of uses.
I can confirm from my own personal experience that I was only able to get about 3 shots on a single charge. That is definitely extremely low, and it may limit the usefulness of this device depending on how much power you're going to have access to. Now, if the machine doesn't have enough juice to complete an extraction, it's going to beep and shut down automatically, which is what happened to me on more than one occasion. My recommendation for this device would be to charge it up pretty much after each use so you can always keep it topped up and ready. And in case you're wondering, you can't use this machine while it is plugged in to recharge.
Recharging takes approximately 2 to 3 hours, which is actually a lot given the machine can only make 3 to 5 shots. That's like an hour of charging per shot you want to brew.
Overall, there are a lot of pluses to this machine, but it does have some areas where I hope the company can make improvements in a second generation model. Let's go over the pros and the cons so you can evaluate them with me.
On the pro side, this machine is truly an all-in-one portable espresso maker. It can use either ground beans or Nespresso pods, making it really versatile. It'll use either cold water and can heat the water for you, or you can add your own boiling water. And depending on how much water you measure, you can make either a single shot or a double easily. The machine is pretty compact and lightweight given all that's going on. I like that it comes with clever accessories like a scoop or tamper and a drinking cup too. On the con side, I found it does take quite a long time to heat up, about 5 or 6 minutes sometimes, which is almost double what the company promises on its website. The battery life is also very short if you want to have the machine heat the water for you. I was only ever able to get no more than 3 shots on a single charge, and given you can't use the machine while it's charging, that does feel a bit more limiting. The accessories also don't quite fit back into the machine to keep it slim for transport, and I do think some type of drip tray would be helpful so you have somewhere to put it after brewing. I suppose the battery life would be the biggest deal breaker, since if you were going to take this off grid for a few days, its usefulness would be pretty limited.
But if you are aware of the downsides and you can work around them, I think this is a pretty clever machine that delivers on exactly what it promises: hot, fresh espresso anywhere easily. OutIn Nano sells for about $149 US or $209 Canadian, and you can get it from OutIn's website or from Amazon. And this is not the first gadget like this that I've tried. Check out some other options when it comes to portable espresso right now.